Living every day in your head for free. You can tap away, but I will not hear you scream. You can break the keys, spread your toxicity, your world outside reality. In your room, a little hideaway, but you let it through. Enough to go insane, living in the dark.
What's up, Internet? I'm Aries Van Dam. How was your weekend? Oh, this is a rough day today, man. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. My co-host has been having some issues. He spent the entire weekend in the bathroom. And usually that means there's like fireworks going on and stuff. I'm worried that this is a sign of the apocalypse because of what's going on in the Middle East right now. I would not be shocked if we're in World War III by the end of the week. Just so y'all know, because a lot of people just watch Fox News, so you'll never know that watching that. You'll just think we're winning. We're winning. But yeah, things are getting pretty bad over there. So before we get into that, help me prove to my friends that I don't have to pretend to be some fake nice guy who lies to us. Like I just don't want to be that. I don't want to be the guy who lies to you. I want you to know what I am. I'm an asshole. And I'm going to be an asshole to fight the people you don't like, right? You want that. You don't want me being some nice guy wearing Dockers. Hey, that's the problem. That's the reason we're in the mess we're in now. That was the problem. Trump told us all, no new wars. We're gonna end this. We're gonna get rid of the deep state. He lied to us, right? So you have to beware of people who tell you what you want to hear, right? I'm gonna tell you a lot of things you don't want to hear, but they're all gonna be true, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. But say hi to my co-host. He's back. He's out of the bathroom today, but it's spent the entire weekend in the bathroom. It's been just crazy. I don't know what's going on. See, he doesn't look happy. He can tell the apocalypse is coming. Let me change it back to me. Jesus, this is rough. Ooh, I just watched news this weekend and it depressed me. So let's get into the video. I'm gonna do a short one today because I got to go build a bunker tonight, I guess. I don't know. Let's fuck. Jesus. All right. There it goes.
Iran, while it hasn't officially pulled out of the non-proliferation agreement, they violated both the spirit and the technical limits of the
Just a little preamble. This is from a show called Her Take. Links in the description. That's Jillian Michaels. I've done a couple of videos, a video on her, I think. And it's going to be a debate between Ana Kasparian and Adam Sosnick. We're doing this in preparation of hopefully a return match between Dave Smith and Adam Sosnick. Oh, I hope that happens tomorrow. That would brighten my day, my week, everything. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm still trying to get all the information, but I have the thumbnail ready to go. So if it does happen tomorrow, I'll be here. We'll do it as long as I can confirm that it's going to happen. So if it does, look for me tomorrow, and we'll do Dave Smith 2. Dave Smith, Adam Sosnick 2. That's going to be legendary. So you don't want to miss that. But this is a debate that was discussed in there, and I wanted y'all to see the actual prop because Adam Sosnick is Carrot Top. He brings props to debates. Like he needs to pull some things out so he can make his point. But we're going to get into it so you can see what all the fuss is about.
JCPOA.
But they're not in the JCPOA anymore. That doesn't exist.
But this is right.
You said that
out of that deal because they violated it.
Oh my God.
But Anna, listen.
You guys have no idea what you're talking about.
You just
the
said
JCPOA
Anna, you don't need to be emotional. Just talk. Don't cry.
It is frustrating when people. Okay.
Here,
the JCPOA is the Iran nuclear deal.
Right.
You said they pulled out of that in 2018.
Here's why.
You said they still applied after they pulled out. They were still part of the non-proliferation treaty, which is separate.
Hold on, let a guy speak for a second. All you guys are doing is debating minor little details.
It's not minor though, Adam.
Are you pro-Iran or anti-Iran? It sounds like you're very much pro-Iran, and I don't understand that.
I'm not pro-Iran or anti-Iran.
Notice how the whole panel just ignored that this shithead just pulled a tampon out and threw it at a girl and said, here, stop crying. Here's a napkin for you. Now, if that would have been somebody who was on a side that they're not trying to embellish, I think that would have been a cat fight going on. But because they're all Zionists and Anna's the only non-Zionist, they just ignore it and act like they don't see it. Like that's like that wouldn't disturb their feminist ideals. Like if somebody they disagreed with did that. Just notice that.
Pro-Israel or anti-Israel?
To be anti-Israel, pro-Iran, pro-America, it's very hard to be what you are because you're very confused.
I know you guys use
on one
the
hand,
same...
you're pro-America, but then you're pro-Iran.
Well, I know.
Hold on.
You don't believe in Israel, but you believe in Iran.
Hang
it
on
makes
a
no
second.
sense.
Saying you don't want America to pay to blow up Iran does not mean you're pro-Iran. It just means you don't want to spend money to start a fight with a country that done nothing to us. They keep trying to change the narrative like that. They think that makes a point, but how does it? How is it pro-Iran to say, I don't think our country should pay to kill Iran for Israel?
It seems to me that you're concerned we are killing innocent people and we're getting America in another forever war.
Not only that.
Okay, but it's my understanding, and again, that Iran is not trustworthy. And I've heard this from numerous people, our generous benefactor, Patrick Beck David included, that you cannot trust the government. So when I'm looking at examples of the ways they violated agreements, okay, they promised they would not enrich uranium beyond 3.67%, but they began enriching up to 20%.
When they were in the JCPOA.
But why did Trump pull out
He
of
pulled
it?
out because Bibi doesn't want the JCPOA. Bibi wanted to go to war with Iran. He's wanted regime change in Iran for decades.
So you're saying that Bibi Netanyahu controls Trump?
Trump's the most honest person
You're saying
in the
that
world.
Bibi Netanyahu controls Trump. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I
so-
think the Israeli government controls our government.
All right,
Yes.
well, that's
I
your
do believe
opinion,
that. No, it's
and
not an
you're
opinion.
wrong, but that's
It's based
entitled
on
to your
evidence.
opinion.
It's based
So
on
you're saying-
impact.
so you're saying that
It's
Trump-
based on money and politics. It's based on the fact that Netanyahu go to the U.S. to invade Iraq and then didn't even send IDF soldiers. He had 4,000 of our soldiers die in Iraq based on a false premise of weapons of mass destruction.
Crimea River, like you care about American soldiers.
I do care about American soldiers, and I care about Americans.
Good comeback. Crimea River. Yeah, good comeback.
Taxpayers who spend trillions of dollars on this trash when we are dealing with $37 trillion in debt.
So now you're...
You notice how he's telling her what she really does care about? That's an Israeli tactic right there too, because they're always trying to, they don't want to debate your ideas. They want to debate your motivation for having that idea, right? He just told her, you don't care about America. Like, they think they know your motives. They think they know what's in your head, and that's what they want to debate against. They don't want to debate about the logic that's coming out of your mouth. They want to debate about an idea they think is in your head. That's how they lose these debates.
Fiscal conservative.
Yeah, I am a fiscal conservative when it comes to spending our resources on wars that we shouldn't be fighting on behalf of a foreign country.
Let me understand this. You're saying that Trump is so weak and such a pussy that he just listens.
Yes, I'm saying he is a big, giant, steaming pussy. Attacking countries with no nuclear missiles for doing the same thing countries that do have nuclear missiles, that's kind of a pussy, right? Like, to attack a country because they don't even really want it. They didn't want it when we started this war. The guy who was in charge had a fatwa against having them. So he murdered him and puts his son in who doesn't have a fatwa against it and doesn't have any obligation to follow that fatwa. Why? What is the reason we're there? That's what this dumb shithead can't understand. The only reason they say is nuclear weapons, and they have no evidence that they were trying to get nuclear weapons other than a deterrent for the ally we're attacking them with, who also has nuclear weapons.
So whatever Bibi does, is that what you're saying?
I don't think he's weak or a pussy.
That they stole from us. Right? Robert Maxwell, look into it. Robert Maxwell stole our nuclear secrets and brought them to Israel, our greatest ally, who stole our fucking nuclear secrets, as well as whenever, I forgot his name, but the guy that stole the Soviet battle plans, and they brought them to Israel, and Israel sold them to the Soviets. Israel is not our ally. I don't understand how people can still think they are.
See, I think he's transactional. I think he's transactional. And I think that he buys this ridiculous narrative that Iran was behind the 2 assassination attempts when there isn't even a shred of evidence other than Netanyahu declaring it.
So, wait, guys. Can we please talk about that as well? I feel like that's really, really important because they keep talking about how another attempt is going to come from Iran against Trump. And for me, one thing that I'm personally concerned about is a false flag.
Yeah.
Yes, and that could literally be laying the foundation for that
Iran
to be
is a
happening.
peaceful regime, and you kept.
That's part of why I think my dog is so scared.
I
believe whatever they say.
You know,
They're
Adam,
great
I know
people.
it's difficult to debate me, but don't put words in my mouth.
And
don't make
I'm
arguments
just
that I did
summarizing
not
what you're
make.
saying. You're defending Iran.
No, I
would much rather defend Israel than defend Iran.
I'm summarizing what you're saying, meaning that's how my retard brain interprets the words coming out of your mouth.
And it's not just defending Iran. You go on X and you see a lot of people on the right, conservatives, who also completely agree with Anna. They don't want to see American lives taken. They don't want to spend trillions of dollars on another war.
Nobody
Okay,
does.
so then what's your point? Let's say, okay, so China and Russia are now saying that they will back Iran. What are we to do then if we get in that position, Adam, where they're saying, okay, now American men on the front line, are you pro-America or are you pro-Israel?
I'm pro-America, but
Russia's
to
not
answer
gonna-
your
Russia's not
question,
gonna do that.
Russia, this is all, you're talking about false flags. You're just throwing out false flags
I'm just saying,
like you're a fucking paid referee.
No, it's very
Here's
easy
the
for
deal.
you
All
right
let me
now
talk
to
now.
say that
Let me
you
talk
would...
now. You asked me a question,
ahead,
I'll
Adam,
talk.
talk.
There's 3 camps here, and I wonder which one you're in. There's the pro-America, pro-democracy, pro-Israel, pro-NATO. Hey, I'm with you.
Yeah, you're in a democracy if you support Israel, right? Why? Why does that, how, what the fuck? That is the silliest shit I've ever heard, that you're pro-democracy for supporting Israel. What, because they have a democracy there or whatever, that's what he's trying to say? We don't care about that. We don't care about them killing protesters. We don't care if you have a democracy or not. We have deposed democracies not in the Middle East, I don't think, but I think in Asia, and had them replaced with dictatorships. So please tell me how we care about democracy for going and toppling this non-democracy and letting them put in another non-democracy. What in the fuck is this moron talking about?
And there's MAGA in there. There's level-headed Democrats, moderates. They're all there. The second camp, which I have friends with as well, they are isolationist, America first, don't get involved in any foreign entanglements, foreign wars. I understand that narrative if you want to live as an ostrich in America. Then the third camp, which I'm wondering is chanting death to America, death to England, death to Israel.
Don't we have freedom of speech? Are you telling me they're not allowed to have freedom of speech? They can't say they don't like us? We have to just, if we bomb them and kill their leaders and shit like that, we get offended if you just say death to America. Like, we're actually bringing death to them. Do you not understand? They're allowed to say death to America when we're bringing death to them. Are their words hurting you, Adam? The fact that they just say death to America, that gives you like night terrors or something? Who cares?
So I know which camp I'm in. I'm in the first camp. Which camp are you in? The isolationist camp or the hate?
Which one of these 3 made-up fucking fictions that I just invented, which one of those are you in? Asshole, we're in the one that's against Israel. Everyone in America, just about, except for the 20%, are against Israel now. That's what y'all have done.
America, hate Israel
Thank
camp.
you.
Which camp are you in?
I'm in the camp of don't allow the Israeli government to lie to the American people and goad us into another war on their behalf. I'm in that camp.
So
You know I must agree. I am agreeing with a feminist here, right? That does not happen in my regular life because I don't even listen to feminists, but I'm listening to this one because she is making a lot of sense, right? Being non-Zionist can override your fucking feminism for a bit when we're talking about shit like this. The end of the world, I think we should just listen to the feminists if they make a good point.
you're basically saying, Trump, listen to yourself, not anybody else.
What I don't. How about
What's so
how
confusing?
about learn from recent history in which
You know whose instincts I trust more than you know instincts I
this was
trust?
the same
I trust Trump's
type of
instincts at this point.
conversation that
More
happened
than
in the
a
lead up
talking
to the
progressive head on the
2003
internet.
invasion of Iraq. This is the exact same type of conversation that took place.
Okay,
And
Saddam
anyone
was letting inspectors in. Iran was not. Saddam was not offered a deal. Iran was. Saddam's group was not ideologically.
They were offered a deal. Disarm all your missiles. Get rid of your roadside bombs. Why do we care about the roadside bombs unless we're going to be going on in there? Like, that's their land. They can't put bombs in their own land. Why? Because we want to invade them, right? Right. No, you want them to just be a sitting duck. And I don't blame them for declining that. I would decline that too.
Captured, and their mission was not death to America. And we all know that it wasn't just Netanyahu. It was all the neocons like Cheney and his whole company.
Yeah, those people are
but
involved
let's not just lay this
right
at
now.
the feet of.
Oh my God. Yes. Cheney, who has lots of stock in all the companies that make missiles, make weapons that we sell to Israel, right? Why do you think that they are also on board with all the Israel bullshit? They love war because they make money from the weapons. And if you have Israel, who's they're contracted, they have to spend 75% of our aid back to those people. Do you see why maybe we shouldn't be listening to any of them? That is the corruption that you complain about whenever Nancy Pelosi does her tax bullshit, her tax voodoo. But what about this? What about this? People in government who are sending us to war, who are profiting off of weapons that we're selling to the people fighting in the wars. That's just as bad as what Nancy Pelosi was doing. Just as bad. But these fucking morons can't see it. They just can't see it because, brainwashed.
Israel. It's
insane.
It is at the feet of Israel, though, Jillian.
Well,
it is at the feet of Israel.
Your blind
Why would we?
hatred to Israel doesn't let you at least acknowledge the truth that she just told you, and you just shut down Jillian when she tried to feed you the truth.
Adam, you have
Because
no
Dick Cheney and the
argument. You have no
establishment-
argument,
Just
Adam.
because you say I
You
have
your
no
only argument is
doesn't mean you have
hate
one.
Israel. You hate Israel. That's
Well,
not
you
an
do.
argument.
Do you not?
Man, I don't give a damn about Israel.
Well,
I give
there
a
you
damn
go.
about my own country. I
And
don't
which
give a
is
damn.
I think you hate Israel, do you? I don't give a damn about them. Oh, there you go. I'm right. How is that right? She just said she doesn't give a damn about them. How is that what you just said? You just said, oh my God. This
About
is
What's your
Iran.
country?
I don't care about
What's your
Israel.
country?
I don't care about the United States of
Okay.
fucking America.
Really?
That's my
Well,
country.
okay.
And I'm
Don't give a
sick of
damn.
fighting wars on behalf of Israel.
Can other people talk other than Adam
So when
and Anna?
9/11 happened, you're saying that they fought that on behalf of Israel?
Yes, I am saying that.
Okay, so you're
Yeah, it was
blindly
based on a-
retarded.
No, I'm not
So
blindly retarded.
congratulations.
I mean, there was a
the mental
heavy.
gymnastics you must do to be
Okay.
able to validate Iran's existence is really impressive to me.
I think
so
it's
keep
just
going.
you're being
right, because only Israel has a right to exist, right? Iran doesn't have that. No other country but Israel has that. It's just the golden rule. They teach that in school almost. Like Israel has a right to the right to exist that no other country has.
reductive though. Like they have put out 8 articles at least that I've seen
You know, unless they have enough chosen people there. You know, God's favorites.
since 1995 saying within 5 years they're going to have a nuclear weapon.
Preach it.
We're not going to pretend.
Yeah,
like
and-
political
and-
propaganda exists.
Great-
Conditioning exists.
Great point by Amy, but you got to go deeper, sweetheart. Why have they not done further? Because Israel somehow keeps
She wants to be an alpha so bad. Calling these women sweethearts on this show is insane. Like it's all feminists, and they just let him get away with it. They don't even address it.
killing the nuclear scientists. If you want a profession to not go into in Iran, it's nuclear science. Because the closer and closer you get to a fucking degree, you're going to be eliminated. So use that for your talking point. Because why does it take longer and longer and longer? Because they keep
Oh, so the non-terrorist side is just going to go kill all these scientists? Is that what you're saying? Like that doesn't. You're not really selling me on them not being terrorists. How is Israel not a terrorist if they just keep killing all the scientists in another country? That doesn't make much sense.
getting eliminated. That's why.
Wait,
Who
guys,
did Israel
there's
go
also
after
a
first?
point. Go ahead.
Nuclear scientists and generals. They're all dead. Start over. There you
You
go.
bring up a really good point.
Thank you.
I just want to say if Trump and Republicans didn't believe that Iran was a threat, why did they take away Mike Pompeo's Secret Service protection as an insult? Do you understand? They did that to basically, knife the guy in the front. That's point number 2. Point number 1. Point number
How does that prove anything against Israel? Mike Pompeo might be a dickhead. They may have some personal beef. Trump is an asshole. No complaints about that. Trump is definitely an asshole. He disagrees with a lot of people. Is that proof that Israel doesn't run our country? One guy that Trump did something to?
Number 2, Anna,
Okay.
I tried to say this earlier, but I wasn't able to. You said that Netanyahu controls Trump. Netanyahu couldn't even get Trump to visit him on his first foreign tour. He went to Saudi
Oh, no sleepover? Oh, they might break up. He might break up if you can't get a sleepover out of him. Yeah, of course.
Arabia first. He couldn't. It was a huge insult to Israel because Bibi was fully expecting that.
The
Do you
Israeli
understand what I'm saying?
government has a massive amount of influence.
We give them billions of dollars, and he's mad they didn't have a sleepover. That was the point. This little, Biden era flunky just threw in Anna's face that they didn't have a slumber party whenever Bibi asked him to. So they must not be friends.
On our government. I didn't say BB controls
You
Trump.
did. You did say that.
Okay.
though.
Maybe it's the other.
Are these women not in high school or something? Like that's a high school argument. They're not friends. They don't like each other. He didn't go to the slumber party. That's not an argument. That is not an argument when we give them billions of dollars. I don't think it's. We fight wars for them. I don't think it's an argument that they didn't have a slumber party.
Way around that America has a massive control of influence on Israel.
I think
To
that
say that a little tiny country is dominating America would be lying to yourself or just completely uninformed.
We
You're
have
saying that Israel
destabilized-
controls America. How about America controls Israel?
Ignore your eyes. That country's little. They can't have any power. It's a tiny country. They can't have any power. They own all of Hollywood. they own all of our media. You can't even watch a news show and get news anymore because it's owned by some Zionist billionaire or the Ellisons or whatever, Murdochs. They're Zionists too. Everything is owned by some Zionist. How do you not see this?
That's
Maybe
hilarious.
it's the other way around.
Why are we paying for Israel's bombs?
Just like
The country that had an economic surplus in 2001 was Israel. I'm sorry, 2021.
What do you mean? Why is Israel buying bombs from America?
No. They're not buying bombs with their money. We're paying for their bombs.
We're giving them free bombs. What are you not getting? We give them money and then they just buy it from the people. It's like a bribe if you think about it, because all that money somehow finds its way back to the people that approve the money. How is that not corruption? If I'm in charge of a government and I let I give all of my government money to this one country, and then they spend all their money buying, staying in my hotel or buying stuff that I have stock in, how is that not corruption? Please tell me that.
Bombs, okay? And they had an economic surplus in 2021. In the middle of a pandemic, they had an economic surplus. We haven't had an economic surplus since 2001. Why are we paying for their bombs?
And maybe because it's useful for us to have an ally in the Middle East. Like
they're not an ally. They're literally.
Hold on a second.
According to the U.S. government, they're definitely an ally.
The only wars they even help us with are ones we don't even want to be in. It's just for them. Iraq, they didn't even help us, and that was purely to benefit them. Afghanistan too.
Fight their wars. That's what they are.
Your blind hatred of Israel doesn't allow you to be reasonable.
I would almost argue the opposite to a certain extent, that they almost often do our dirty work in some cases.
Like what?
Like taking out the nuclear scientists in Iran.
There's no question that we wanted this.
Taking out the nuclear scientists in Iran is going to lead to a full-blown war.
But
now, this is before the war started. Anna just foretold that doing that was going to lead to a full-on war, and we are in a full-on war. So I think this debate is easy to see who won, just considering the time frame. Like it's a little bit old, so you can see right now who won this debate, because Anna was right. We are in war, and it is because of Israel, and it is in Iran. She's exactly right.
They're already at war.
They're in
Anna.
a peace treaty as well, though. Like, how are we ever going to have diplomatic relations with? Like, do you think they're ever going to trust the American government, Trump, anyone ever again when they're in the middle of these negotiations?
There's no diplomatic relations with a psychopathic regime in Iran.
Hold on. I don't even know.
Or the one in Israel, Adam. Or the one in Israel. They're both psychotic fucking regimes.
Hold on. What? I'm sorry.
They were in the middle of their peace talks.
Who was?
The treaty.
Iran and Trump, yes.
Yeah.
No, they were not.
Yes, they were. They had their final talks coming in Sunday.
The video?
Yes, Sunday.
They are saying we're never going to do a deal with America.
That's not true. They're coming on Sunday.
Amy, do yourself a favor.
Now you're just full
Don't
of
succumb
shit.
to her bullshit.
5 women squawk, and this is starting to look a lot like The View.
Argument.
It's not necessary. This is all over the
Trump gave them
marketplace.
60 days. Okay.
Exactly.
Not only did they not negotiate, they were like, bah ha ha.
Exactly.
So much so that I could not believe.
And what day did they attack on?
This is bizarre.
They were meant to meet on Sunday. They were meant to meet on Sunday.
we have
They were meant
60
to meet
days
on
of a peace
Sunday. They
treaty.
struck
He
them
just
before
said,
that.
okay, ready? He just said, still want to do a deal.
Yep.
Okay, where is it? Where is that
Give them
deal?
the chance to get to the talks to be able to discuss
Amy,
the
they
deal.
had 60
Instead of first
days.
allowing this attack to happen, denying it at first,
You
and then
guys,
coming back and saying, we actually were complicit.
The truth is
I'm not
definitely
even
somewhere in the middle
pro-Iran.
here.
I'm not pro-Iran. I'm not
Let me
pro-Israel.
show you the truth.
I'm just talking about what people are saying in the marketplace. You guys are acting
I know,
like
but
it's
who's
wild
saying this?
and saying these
Okay,
insane
but you know what,
things.
by
There's
the way,
plenty of people who agree with
And
her
there
who
are
are on the
plenty that
right.
also don't.
I know.
There are military historians
Hold on.
that are not ideologically captured, that fundamentally disagree and do see them as an existential threat. And while they are...
So if you disagree with Jillian, you're ideologically captured. If you agree with her, you're not. If you do disagree with her, you're ideologically captured. That's the fucking mentality of these fucking morons. Anybody who disagrees with me is ideologically captured, so we can't listen to you. I wish I could get that with all my enemies. That would be awesome.
MAGA, their concern is, if you kick this can in order to, yes, focus on America, what do you get in a very short period of time? And the reality is, Iran is telling you who they are. In the words of Maya Angelou, believe them. I don't want any of the stuff you're talking about. And if you are right, God help me.
They are telling you who they are because Israel says they have bombs that we can't fucking confirm, or like they weren't trying to get them until we started bombing them. They even said they weren't going to go above 60%, and you needed higher than 60% to make nuclear weapons. So I don't really understand what Jillian's argument is here, because it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. They had no evidence. I want to see it. Show me any evidence. No one has ever been able to bring me any evidence that they were trying to get a nuclear weapon when we started bombing. Before the first bomb, no evidence. Now there's going to be evidence, because they are going to get them, because we killed the guy who didn't want them. That's how stupid we are being right now, and no one can see it.
that will be awful. But
I am right,
what
and it will
if-
be awful.
I don't know that you are. Everybody said this about Soleimani, and they were wrong.
Okay, so
Well,
let me
Anna,
hold on.
as much as I think you're great, you're not even willing to be reasonable.
Because there's
hear me
a
out,
body
hear me
of
out, you'll
evidence
talk,
that you guys
I'll
won't even
talk,
let me
and then you'll
present.
talk.
Like,
No,
you guys
'cause
won't
I'm
even
talk-
let me make my argument.
Okay, so I'm going to talk.
You go, and
and then you can come back with your talk.
That's good. Okay, Adam,
we
go,
go.
and then let's go to Anna.
The problem that you have is the same problem that I had about 4 years ago when I joined the PBD podcast. I was so blind with
Erectile dysfunction?
hatred to Trump, I wasn't willing to be reasonable and hear the argument out. But here's what happened. I said, you know what? Instead of yelling every time somebody tries to talk, let me use these 2 ears and learn something. And now I said, you know what? Maybe they did lie about Russia. Oh, maybe they did. Oh, you know what? Maybe the media did play us. And I had to learn, I had to rewire my brain to understand that maybe everything I understood was not accurate.
Right. So you're an idiot. You're a moron. You were a leftist, and you still are.
So now I'm one of the loudest, proudest MAGA people because I realized I was lied to.
Good
so
for
my
you,
hope
Adam.
for you
Right when he made his dark turn for Israel, he became a cheerleader. Isn't that convenient?
is that when you say things like, I'm 100% right, and I know everything, that is a very, very weak position to be in because you're not willing to even recognize the fact that maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
Have you ever been wrong before? The answer is yes.
Of course I've been
Bingo.
wrong. Yes, of
Also,
course I've been
your
wrong.
argument
However,
has shifted
Lindy, let me make my
several
argument,
times.
please. Let me just make my argument without people jumping down my throat,
go
okay?
ahead.
Because I want to provide the
Go ahead.
dating back to the 1990s. Netanyahu was saying that Iran was days away from having a nuclear weapon. That was false. They don't have a nuclear weapon now. So
Yeah.
this
But
has
they've
been a
killed the scientists.
multi-decade effort.
Oh.
Now, Matt,
Do you
I want to
acknowledge
go.
that they've been eliminating the scientists?
Do you acknowledge they have 6 to 10 bombs worth of enriched uranium, and they just developed detonators?
Okay. They have,
Do you hear what she said?
according to the IAEA, okay, and by the way, the head of the IAEA,
But he's
he's got some issues.
Just said this.
Okay, but hold on. Tulsi Gabbard in March said they don't have a nuclear weapon and they're not building a nuclear weapon.
They said they were enriching uranium.
They do. Okay.
What are they doing that, to watch
That's what I
TV?
said.
Okay.
And okay.
To counter Israel's nuclear weapon. When they start threatening nuclear bombs dropping on you, I think I'd start developing some too. You're going on the news saying you're going to bring nuclear Armageddon to them. You want them to not even try and get a weapon so they can return the favor? You're fucking retarded then. Because no fucking country on earth was going to take a threat that you're going to bomb us with nuclear weapons and not try to get your own. That's just stupid.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I understand where you're at.
Listen,
It's hard to make your
Adam,
argument when you don't have a
congratulations,
standard legislation.
Adam. We're going to send American soldiers to
that's
we
not-
are.
that's
We
not
are.
true.
We are.
Doing that,
We
though.
are.
You
That's
can't
what
keep-
Netanyahu is pushing for right now.
But it doesn't mean that
do you
you
think
But
a
they're not
regime
there now,
change
so let's
war
live
is
in
going to be an
reality.
easy war to fight?
They're not there yet. So let's live where we're at now. No, they've already said where they're going, shithead. Yeah, we know where they're going.
Let's play in realpolitik. Let's play in reality. If, woulda, coulda, shoulda. How about what's happening now?
Okay, let's go to
So
Wesley
yes,
Clark.
no.
Wait,
They're not there
Let's go to
now.
Wesley Clark. Let's go to Wesley Clark.
Let her make her.
This is the same guy that just said, believe this other guy because he said something. But we can't believe Israel when they say they're going to bomb Turkey and they're going to bomb all these other places. We don't believe it because we're not there yet. But whenever this other guy says some shit, we just believe him, whatever he says. That's the fucking logic these idiots have.
Let her finish.
I don't know if she has a point.
Okay.
my
Her
fault.
point is I'm pro-Iran
You
and I'm
wouldn't even let me make
anti-Israel.
my
I'm
point.
with you.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let her make her point. Sorry,
Back in
go.
2007,
No,
General
he's not.
Wesley Clark was told something that he found deeply, deeply problematic. This is in 2007. Let's watch the video. Let's put the volume up. Take a look.
And he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries
Crazy.
in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran. About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon, and one of the generals called me in. He said, sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second. I said, well, you're too busy. He said, no. He says, we've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq. This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, we're going to war with Iraq. Why?
Why?
He said, I don't know. He said, I guess they don't know what else to do. So I said, well, did they find some information connecting Saddam?
Translation. Their stocks went down. They needed to make some money. That's all this is. Everyone can see it.
To Al-Qaeda? He said, no. He says, there's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq. He said, I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments. And he said, I guess if
Take down
the only tool you
governments.
have is a hammer. Every problem has to look like a nail.
Exactly.
But notice
So I came back to see him a few
the
weeks later.
neocons in the Republican
And
Party
by the-
are still in charge. They're still in charge. They still have quite a bit of sway, clearly, because unfortunately, going along with what Israel just did in striking Iran is going to lead to a full-blown war. Netanyahu isn't even hiding the ball. He's being very clear that he wants regime change in Iran. Iran is not Iraq, by the way. You're right about that, Jillian. Iran is not Iraq. Iran is far more superior in their military capacity and capability. It is a country of 90 million people, okay? The fact
Who
that
want
he
to
is
be
trying...
free.
Okay, they...
4 times the size of Iraq and people. They've got quite a bit more people too. And the terrain is much different than Iraq. Iraq was a lot easier than comparing it to Iran. Iran has mountains. It has all kind of shit. It's huge.
Okay, first of all, they do. They want... Hold on. Hold on.
regime.
Iran
They beat women to death. In the
Wait, hold on a second. I know. That's
As if every country over there isn't like that. That's not our problem, feminist. We're not going on a mission to save the women from out the world. That's not what our mission is. We're here to take care of America and defend America. If some people over there have some fucked up laws, that's their fucked up laws. You can marry a fucking 8-year-old in Saudi Arabia. Should we go invade them too? Fucking idiot.
It's okay. It's okay.
Guys, that
Let's
video
beat some
is
women.
Hold on. Yeah,
I've
sorry,
been trying to
go.
Okay, so that
go,
video
go.
was from 2007. Can we please all remember who the president of the United States is?
George Bush.
Well, right now,
Yeah,
I mean, it's Donald Trump who ran on the platform of, come on, America first.
Right, he
who
did,
Ran
but
on
is he gonna-
not
And no Middle East wars, and no regime change wars, and we're not going to get in the Middle East no matter what. Those were all campaign promises too, from Donald Trump. So continue.
Follow through on
intervening,
that?
not intervening. I'm actually in. You talk about ostriches. I'm one of your ostriches. I don't
Yeah.
want to get involved in other people's shit. I want to focus on all the problems we have here and just get it sorted out. I don't want to go overseas. So in that regard, I'm with you. I just think that you're fighting a straw man argument. I don't think we are in danger of going. I don't think we're in danger of sending our boys overseas. I just don't see that happening.
Okay, we don't have to listen to you anymore because we know where we're at now, right? So she could just be excluded from this debate. You know she's a moron because we see where we're at. Everyone else saw it. She didn't see it. Straw man. It was a straw man.
Because this guy ran on a. You think MAGA is going to be
There's
okay?
a genuine concern that she has, without question.
Yeah.
There
That's fine.
is.
Did you
It
vote
is
for
a-
Trump?
it is- she's
No, I
got
did
a
not
very-
vote.
listen,
You didn't vote for Trump?
There's
No,
a
I didn't. I
genuine
didn't vote.
concern
Hold on,
if
let
you
me
get
ask this
sucked in
question.
there, it's a
Who did
mess.
you vote for?
I didn't
Who did you
vote for
for?
either
saying that
candidate.
there's
I didn't
no
like
way
either
that a
candidate.
So you
president
didn't vote
As if any of this matters, Adam. Who gives a fuck who they voted for? We're here now. God
for
damn.
Trump.
Listen,
so you're
Adam,
not America first.
Adam, are you fucking kidding me right now?
You're not America.
You
You
can
didn't
be
vote for
America
Trump.
first and not vote for Trump. Okay, America
Yes,
first means
if you
you
were-
want.
Nah, he co-opted that, so now it's his. No, bullshit. America First is an idea that's been around since Lindbergh. That's not Trump's little fucking thing. He co-opted that from people who are much smarter than him. You can be America First and not vote for Trump. I did vote for him because I needed the censorship to go away. But I didn't think I was going to end the, start World War III because of it.
America first, you would have voted
Means
for
you're a
Trump.
populist, and you are a
If he would have said he was doing this, I probably would have voted for a libertarian.
populist.
I am a
correct?
populist, yes.
You're a progressive.
America first.
Respectfully, you're a progressive.
America first.
You're a Bernie Sanders
Who gives a
progressive.
fuck what I am, Adam? What I give a
Because-
fuck about is what's
because you're
right.
not
And
talking.
No, Adam wants to debate you personally. He doesn't want to debate the ideas that are coming out of your mouth because he's losing really fucking bad and he's kind of dumb.
what the
head on the
evidence
internet, and
indicates.
I think people should
What
understand who you are.
Are you Israel first?
No,
Because
I'm
it
America
sure seems
first.
like it. No,
No,
you're not.
I'm
You're not.
America
You're
first.
not. You're not.
'Cause I voted for
because
Trump,
you
America first.
constantly provide
So you want those American soldiers to go over there and die. That's America First, right? How is that America First, Adam?
cover for
I
the
am
country
Jewish.
that we spend 3
Oh, I get it. When Israeli people say that, they mean they want Americans to die first. That's what America First means. That means y'all go in with the foot troops. Y'all go in and die first. That's how they're America First.
$3 billion on every year.
Are you-
In addition to every time they get into a war, we're the ones who shell out
you-
the money, shell out the money, shell out the money.
you Armenian?
While our
Are you
Americans
Armenian?
are homeless, they're
Answer
sick
the
and
question,
dying.
yap.
Hey, aren't your parents from Israel, Adam? Oh, don't you have family in Israel right now?
And I'm
lady.
sick of this.
Are you Armenian?
Sounds a little bit more pertinent than her being from Armenia.
Dude, why are you asking me questions about myself? This isn't about me.
You just
this
said
is
something
about a
about-
political.
Exactly, because he wants to debate you personally. He doesn't want to debate the ideas. That's what they teach them. You don't attack the ideas because you're going to lose. You attack them personally. Hey, didn't you weren't you mean to your mommy once? Like bullshit like that. What does that have to do with what we're talking about right now? Where her parents were born.
Issue.
You just said something about myself, so I'm asking
After you asked me about myself.
We're not even asking personal attacks. Let's grow up. Are you Armenian?
You threw a tampon at her, shithead. To start the debate, he threw a tampon at her that is still on the table.
Yeah, I'm Armenian.
So do you care about Armenia?
I do care about Armenia.
So do you,
yes.
do you want the best for Armenians?
I do want the best for Armenians.
Okay, that's
but
great.
if Armenia
So I feel
was
the same
trying
way
to
about
drag,
Israel.
if Armenia was trying to
but
drag,
I feel the same
listen
way
to
about
me.
Israel.
If Armenia was trying to
So
drag
what's
the United
difference?
He wants to ask a question and interrupt you before you can answer it properly.
States into an offensive war on its behalf, I would have problems
Well,
with
that's kind of like your opinion, man.
Wait,
that's not the actual
That's not an
facts.
argument,
Can I
Adam.
ask one question?
You just said
As if everything he said hasn't been an opinion all day long. He hasn't said any facts. Name a fact he said during the whole debate.
attacked me
That's
for
not
being
an
Jewish and
argument.
so
Well, he did say that here's a napkin, and I guess it's a feminine napkin of sorts. So that's the one lie he didn't tell. Here's a napkin. There you go.
defending Israel.
I didn't attack you for being
yes,
Jewish. Don't put
yes,
words
you
in my
did.
mouth.
You just
Don't
said
put words in my mouth.
Listen,
don't do this whole like,
yapping
oh, you hate
woman.
Jews bullshit.
Like
okay?
you're the type of woman that
I'm talking about the
disgusts
policy.
men.
Wait,
because
okay, stop,
as you're trying to talk, you just keep yapping.
stop.
Have you seen my
You
husband?
love
Trust me,
Armenia.
I don't
Guys,
discuss men.
I'm sure your husband's
We
very
agree on
feminine.
personal attacks. Stop. Here's okay.
There's no way.
I'm sure he would beat the shit out of Adam. Adam's a pussy. He probably wouldn't even show up because I don't think he's showing up tomorrow for Dave's debate.
A real man.
Hold
would put up
on.
with this.
I completely
Right, okay.
lost
I'm
track.
just saying, no real man would want to hear this.
Listen,
Hey,
if
that
you-
was a personal attack.
If you
Stop.
had an
Hold
argument,
on.
you wouldn't.
You're Armenia
Can
first,
I-
are you not?
Okay, hold on. Does anybody have a legitimate?
Are you like literally retarded?
No,
guys?
pretty smart.
Guys,
Seems like you're pretty retarded.
listen to me. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna call Vinny in here to start.
I have a video I did the other day that would dispute him being very smart. You can go watch it. It's Dave Smith versus Adam Sosnick 1.
Slapping people around. I can't
Let's
just control
get 'em.
this. And my flag is not upside down on purpose. I cannot rotate the pin, so I'm not anti-American. With that said,
Up for debate.
a genuine question for you.
Okay.
Okay. Is it possible?
You notice how they like to call attention to the little pins. You know, I did a debate the other day, and Mike Huckabee did the same thing. Look, my pin. Look, Adam did the same thing in a debate. Look, my pin. They love pointing out that they have an American flag on their pin while they fucking give all of America's money to this foreign shithead country. Oh, thank you for wearing the pin. They're like $2. That must have put you back.
And I'm obviously, there's no way to know if I'm right or I'm wrong here. But is it possible that some of the stuff you're talking about was actually the United States agenda? And we utilized Israel to do our dirty work. Is it
What dirty work
possible?
did they do for
Okay,
us?
But you're talking about Iraq. You're talking about,
Right.
for example,
Is it
with Iraq.
possible?
But hold
Answer
on.
the question.
But Israel didn't send IDF soldiers to fight in Iraq. We sent our soldiers
know.
to fight
She
in
tried to
Iraq.
ask you a question and you
I'm
started
talking about,
answering
okay.
it. Ask her the
but
question.
But they backed us up with their intelligence.
Intelligence. I don't want your intelligence anymore. They also told us there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Did that turn out to be true? No. Seems like every time we get some intelligence from them, it's always the same fucking story. They're going to get nukes, they're going to get nukes, and they're going to get nukes. Take them out and so we can rule this land. That's the fucking intelligence. There's nothing that's any good from it. Did they tell us about 9/11 before they did it? Or before it happened, I should say? Did they tell us? No. If their intelligence is so good, they didn't know that they were going to fly planes into the towers? Tell me that. Explain that. If their intelligence is so good, how does all this bad shit keep happening to America? And hey, they didn't know anything about it. All they know is that there are weapons of mass destruction in all these countries that we can never find. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. No one can figure it out because we got shitheads like Jillian. That's why. That's why you can never figure it out.
Right. Their intelligence was that
She asked you a
Saddam Hussein had
question.
weapons of
Is
mass
it
destruction.
possible?
What I'm saying.
Jillian, please ask that question.
Who was behind Iraq? Like, we know that it was Condoleezza Rice, it was Dick Cheney. Oh my God, I forgot the guy's name. The friggin'
Colin Powell.
Thank
Bush.
you, Powell. The other guy, it was with Bush. It was
The devil.
Okay, my point is that
Yeah. Invading Iraq was the devil in charge, but invading Iran, that's good. That's good news. That's all wonderful, right? Because we just have to wait a couple of months so that we can play another video and show them all going, yeah, well, we don't know now. Now we're here. Yeah, because you're too fucking stupid to see what's about to happen. That's the fucking issue. We have one side that is too stupid to see what's happening or pretends to be too stupid to see what's happening. And the other side that's wide awake going, what the fuck are we doing? That's the fucking divide right now in our country. Woke people who, when I say woke, I mean awake. I mean, they can see what's going on versus the people who are just like, no, this is great. Fox News says we're winning. Yay.
it was not just Netanyahu. And the thing is, would I get slightly concerned about is that we're like, look at this little country, they're evil. And it's that rhetoric scares me a lot. I do see all your concerns with Netanyahu. You're very legitimate to be concerned about it. But right now, if I could just step back, right, and say, as I've been watching Trump this first term, I've been completely confounded. And like, I just don't understand his one thing, like the one bad guy, the one like country that he was willing to conduct attacks on was Iran. He's like, I came out of that 2018 deal. They were dishonest. It was a terrible deal. They were allowed to enrich uranium, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever, believe true or not. He didn't do that to anyone else. Then it was, he took out ISIS. He went after Soleimani. He bankrupted the country. He's been genuinely concerned, and he didn't get us into any new wars. He wanted out of Afghanistan. He wasn't engaging in regime changes. So all of a sudden it's like, I'm going to do a deal with Iran. I'm not going to put sanctions on Putin because he's going to cooperate in a deal with Iran, which does that mean Putin's going to look the other way if I don't put sanctions on him for Ukraine?
Cooperate with Ukraine, you mean, right?
I'm saying Trump said after that whole Operation Spiderweb thing fell apart, he still didn't put sanctions on Putin. But he turned around and he's like, well, I talked to Putin for an hour and 15 minutes. There's not going to be any peace over there. But we talked about a deal with Iran. He's going to be helpful. Obviously, they clearly discussed that this was going to happen. My point is, the administration knew. The administration wanted to do this. I don't think Netanyahu is pulling Trump's strings. I think Trump has had a bone to pick with Iran since his first term. And
Would that mean he was lying all the time in his campaign? When he was telling us he wasn't going to do it, he secretly knew he was going to do it anyway? That almost makes it worse, Jillian. Just so you know, that means he planned this. He planned on doing this the entire time. He looked us in the eyes and said, I'm not going to start any wars in the Middle East, no regime change wars. We're going to stay out of that region because it's a nightmare. And then he gets in office and just goes and does exactly that. Is that better for your side, you think?
I worry that if we're like, Israel's doing this, that there's a Venn diagram there with that makes me very nervous with regard to.
Jill, do you understand why I say Israel is doing this? It's because of the long history of Israel trying to goad us into war with Iran. That's why I'm saying it. Again, it's Netanyahu's own words dating back to the 1990s. You say that Israel helps us with intelligence. Okay, well, I wonder where we got our intelligence that Iraq had nuclear weapons.
No,
Yeah.
but
Or weapons of mass destruction.
There was no intelligence. It was a lie. We knew it was a lie.
But where did that lie come from?
So let's believe them this time. We knew they lied last time and we did it anyway, so let's do it again. That's good logic, Jillian. Good point. Good point. We knew they were lying when we went and did it last time. We just, they wanted to make a little money. So, they were evil, but whatever. Let's move on. And this time we'll do it again. We'll do it again and we'll just act shocked whenever this one turns out bad too. Sure, why not?
It came from Cheney.
It wasn't just Cheney. Cheney in the very, very, very beginning.
All those
in the
neocons
very
knew they didn't have
Hold on.
WMDs.
Let me just
They
finish my
knew
point.
it. Okay.
Cheney there's a really great book about this. Okay, if you guys want to read, and it's full of evidence. So it's called The Israel Law.
None of them can read.
Okay, in the very, very, very beginning of this whole debate about whether or not the United States should do a preemptive war in Iraq, Cheney wasn't convinced, believe it or not. But he was eventually convinced with the intel, allegedly, that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
I read another book called Provoked, written by Scott Horton, and his argument is that Cheney wasn't convinced until Halliburton was bankrupt.
There's an
he had to
oil
go
component.
get into the whole mix. So there's differing.
This is the problem with reading too many books. Because you read a book and you hear somebody's opinion, and because you read it in a book, you start thinking it's a fact. Like, I can write a bunch of opinions too, and all I got to do is get you to read them, and now they become fact.
Perspectives on this. I would simply ask you, Iran, you don't see them as a threat. They didn't come to the table. They had an opportunity to.
But they did. They did come
We've
to
had
the
60
table.
days.
The gaslighting on this
But this guy, Scott Horton, said they didn't, and I read it in a book.
issue is unbearable, and it's very reminiscent of the gaslighting that took place in the lead up to Iraq.
Why are they the top state funders of terror?
I think Iran
It's like she might as well just say, don't you watch Fox News? They tell us all this.
poses a national security threat to Israel.
Don't agree with you.
They do, though.
That is true, right?
No, to Israel and
Yeah.
they destabilize the entire Middle East. The Saudis can't stand them. The Qataris can't stand them.
Look,
As if any country in the Middle East is allied with Israel. They forget this point. They like to make it like Iran is enemies with all these people, but they have alliances in the Middle East. They do, or they wouldn't have survived. Israel has no alliances. All they have is Big Brother to come kick everybody's butt when we piss off the little brother. That's all it is. Do you name an ally that Israel has where they really like Israel and they wouldn't really like to see them get taken off the map? Name one.
Listen,
Do you understand what she just said? She's bringing a very good point to the table.
Israel and said, we want to expand. What if, in my dream world, and I am not saying you are wrong, there's a very good chance that you're right. I'm simply trying to open up the possibility that Trump doesn't want forever wars. He hasn't engaged in regime change to date, okay?
Okay, now you see where we're at now. So from this point forward, anything Jillian says, we can disregard because she's a fucking moron. She couldn't see what we were all saying, and here you are. Now we're there, so shut the fuck up.
That now his goal is to win a peace prize. He's trying to expand the Abraham Accords.
I think he gave up on that. I don't think he sees that. I think unless he makes some threats, he's not getting that.
Syria reached out to Israel and said, we want in.
You can't bomb all girls schools and then get a peace prize.
Does it free up that region to stabilize things with these, I mean, I'm sorry, bad actors and evil regime, arguably defanged?
Afghanistan is currently governed by the Taliban.
You're not wrong.
Okay. In Syria, we have a former ISIS and Al Qaeda agent now leading that country. And then in Libya, I mean, you want to talk about destabilizing the Middle East? No.
Yeah, we helped out those Libyan people a long time ago too. I remember whenever we invaded Libya, even we helped them out. How are they doing now? Are they successful in having democracy like we did? Like we went there to do? Did we bring them democracy? How are they doing now?
No country has destabilized the Middle East on Israel's behalf than the United States of America by overthrowing Gaddafi in Libya. By the way, that happened under Obama. This is not a Republican or Democrat thing. Both parties are complicit or actively involved in the regime.
It really makes me happy to hear a Democrat say that. I disliked the Young Turks for a long time, and I'm still not fully on board with them. They're still too liberal for me. But it is good to see that they're at least admitting that their party has some concerns with this too. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. This is not left versus right. This is Zionist versus not Zionist. It could you may have to ally with some leftists before. We got to get this foreign influence out of our government. That is the cancer that's got to be removed.
Regime change wars that have cost American lives, cost American resources. And I just ask that we maybe think this through a little more before we start beating the war drums.
But what? Hold on. I just want to say again that I'm an isolationist. I think that if
We're already not listening to you.
for most Americans, they can't even pick Iran on a map, we should not get involved. Like, this is not our business. That is my point of view. I want to wash my hands of the situation. I don't want to get involved. That said, Anna, respectfully, you fail to mention that the people who, like, for example, the Taliban, it's a moderated version of the Taliban, who has made concessions. Also, the guy from Al Qaeda.
Oh, okay, that's
I understand they're bad, but it's a less bad version. We have to acknowledge that, though, because the guy who is now running Syria, he has made attempts and has very vocally said that I am not who I used to be.
Right.
I'm reformed. I just want to say that. This is not like your pure version of Al Qaeda. It's not the Taliban of your grandfather, so to
The United
speak.
States should not be in the business of carrying out regime change wars anywhere.
Is this
period?
that, though, or is it
I agree with that, but
defanging
Trump
a
is not
global
going to
threat?
because he
That is
ran
the
on
question.
America
Look,
first.
We're
And
making
we're
fun of the regime
predictions.
change thing. I couldn't agree with you more.
Okay.
I'm just asking, is this that? Because they are pretty freaking scary.
Well, that's the first video that you were going to play, right? That was where he was trying to appeal to people's emotions because he knows that people are against child brides. They're against all of these things. So, of course, that's going to be the main rhetoric used when putting out this video.
I just don't think that's our business.
I don't
Why do
think
we
that's
need
the
to get
rhetoric.
Exactly.
The rhetoric is they are the freaking top funders of Hamas, Hezbollah, the Shia militia. I mean, the list goes on and
Then
on.
let's let
They
Israel
were
deal
this
with it.
close
Thank you, Lindsay.
to
That's all I'm
having
asking. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, then we're in agreement about this.
Let
then.
Israel handle it. I don't think the United States taxpayers should fund that war. And I don't think, look, if they need defensive support, okay, fine. But
Nope, I'm off on that one too. Nothing.
no boots on the
We
ground.
already provided that with
and
Iran.
absolutely
What else
no
do we
more
need to do?
American
Fair.
taxpayer money. Israel
I
should
agree
pay
with
for
you.
its own bombs.
I agree with you. Why don't you just say it at the beginning?
So you have a problem? Do you have a problem with the fact that currently the United States funds Israel's wars? We provide them over $3 billion a year in military aid. Do you want that to come to an end?
So, no, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because what you're doing is a disservice to
Because Adam needs his allowance.
all the other countries that the United States gives money to.
No, I disagree.
We give money to Palestine. We give money to Egypt. We give money to every single
Palestine.
country in the world.
Currently,
And I say stop all that too. Yeah, we should stop all of that It's not an excuse. Oh, we help other countries too. Those other countries are third world countries. We help Congo and places like that. We don't help countries that have a surplus of money and have UBI and fucking free healthcare. That's not what we should be doing. We shouldn't give any money to countries that are succeeding already on their own. Well, not really on their own. We've been financing it, but we pay for them to have those nice things that we can't have.
Israel is carrying out ethnic cleansing.
And Adam's fine with that. He just said he wants that to continue, of course, because his parents live there.
A genocide of Palestinians. So I mean,
a genocide.
Yeah, it is a genocide.
And there's no other genocides going on in the world. It's just
we don't
Israel.
fund those genocides. We fund this genocide.
Pretty sure we fund a lot of
this
things
genocide.
right here.
Instead of just blaming everything on Israel, though, can we also?
Hold on.
Wait, can I just
really don't
hold on? Can I?
Because
Let me
all
finish
those
that point.
things you mentioned, we were behind. I just want to be clear.
That's not Jill. You bring up a really good point. Let me expand on that. Instead of just throwing everything and scapegoating Israel for all the problems under the sun, why not look at our own military-industrial complex and ask, why are we, not just Israel though, in Ukraine, billions of dollars gushing all around the world. Right. And instead of blaming...
Because they have to buy weapons too. And like the people making the decision, they have stock in weapons companies. Yeah, war is good for the people that have stock in that kind of shit. That's very simple and it's easy to see.
You know, Israelis for this, why not ask the defense contractors who are constantly lobbying our senators and congressmen for additional funding, right?
That's a problem too.
Just not all Bibi. Okay?
It's not all Bibi.
He's a problem, but he's not the only problem. We also have to look here at home.
But it is a happy marriage when you have the government of Israel pushing us to fight a war, and when you have defense contractors who see a profitable opportunity to exploit that situation on their behalf. And this is the same thing that keeps playing out over and over again. Again, I'm just asking.
This is the definition of the deep state. That's what this is. This is the deep state that we elected Trump to go and get rid of, right? He was going to drain the swamp. And then he was going to take every creature he found in the swamp and put them in his backpack. And now they're his fucking allies. That's the people. Lindsey Graham goes and has lunch with the president now, right? I bet you he wouldn't have done that while he was on the campaign tour. I bet you wouldn't have wanted to be seen with Lindsey Graham. But now they're buddies. Explain that.
Look at the evidence. Look at what Netanyahu has been saying for decades. Look at the lies that we're told about other Middle Eastern wars that we got dragged into. I want to prevent that. I want American soldiers to fight wars to defend the United States when it's necessary. I have not seen enough evidence, or any evidence really, to indicate that Iran is a national security threat to the United States.
America, what do you think they mean? Because I'm taking them at face value. I'm being honest.
Yeah. I mean, look.
What do you think a citizen in the streets of Iran saying death to America? What do you think they mean? They probably mean, hey, motherfuckers who keep bombing us and overthrowing our governments and getting us shittier leaders. Fuck you, die. That's probably what they mean, right? And that's what I would mean too if I had a country that was doing that to my country. That's exactly what I would mean. So I don't like hearing it, but I understand why they're saying it. They're saying it because we keep having shitheads that do things like Trump's doing right now. I can understand why they want to kill us. That's why we need to get someone like Massey in there so he can go and talk to Iran, maybe get us to become like some kind of a quasi-ally with them, or at least, you know, a treaty where we don't interfere with each other's shit and just stay the fuck out of them. That's what we need to do. And I hope that ends poorly for Israel.
They want a pillow fight? What do they want?
No,
chanting death to America. What do you think they want?
Listen to me. I don't think that they favor the United States. Okay.
Favor.
But the idea
They're
that they're chanting
death for America.
Right. I mean, people chant all sorts of things, but we're going to go to war.
They chant that here in America too. They chant all kind of crazy shit here in America. So we're going to bomb them too?
Saying is that Trump is not going to. I just don't think we need to
minimizing the whole death to America.
I am minimizing it. I am minimizing.
Why is it that we have crazy people here who will don't even know what sex they are and they dye their beards blue and say they're a lady? We just act like that's fine, but they can't have a crazy person over there chanting it. Like just people out in the streets that are mad about shit. Why would that even affect us on a foreign policy level? Can you imagine in the president's count and they're sitting around talking, he's got his cabinet and they're talking about what they're going to do. And they're like, we have to do something about these people in Iran who keep saying death to America. We can't have that. Like seriously, is that why are you bringing that up in a debate? Like that's a fucking talking point. They say death to them. It's so fucking what? We have freedom of speech here, but you don't want to let other countries say what they want whenever we're doing bad shit to them.
Okay. There we go.
I am minimizing it because I need to see actual evidence that they're carrying out acts. Can I just say an attack against the United States? And there's no evidence of that.
Okay.
First of all,
so if you were America first, you would say, hold on, some countries trying to call for America's death. I wouldn't minimize that. I would actually take that at face value. And that's why Trump is behind Bibi Netanyahu on this, because you know what America First stands for? Three things.
It really means
they're
Of course,
anti-globalists.
according to this moron, he's about to tell us what America First means to him. Israel's favorite son over here is going to tell us what America First means.
Okay? Anti-Marxist, anti-CCP, and ready for it? Anti-Islamic terrorism. So I know on behalf of Iran, what you're defending, Anna, for some reason.
I'm sure that when Lindbergh came up with that motto, I'm sure he was thinking about all the people in Libya and Iran and all that. That's what he was thinking about, I'm sure.
You're kind of advocating for Islamic terrorism. I actually believe Iran.
No.
I actually
Do not
hold on,
strawman
shush.
me.
I'm talking.
I never
then you
said
go.
that.
America First does not mean we just bomb everyone we don't like anytime we can make up a reason to go bomb them. That's what we're doing. We are making up reasons to go bomb people so that we can get conquest. That's what this is. This is not for anything for America's benefit. This is to make some money for the people that got elected. That's it.
No, but I'm not going to let you lie about the argument I'm making.
You just said
I never said that.
You just said you're okay with death to America.
I don't think people
you just said you're
chanting
okay
things.
with death to
She said she's okay with other countries that we're blowing the shit out of saying that because, yeah, she understands why they would say that.
Chants justify hot wars.
What do you think? They're chants, and then they're just like they're doing pom-poms and they're rooting for a football game?
How far down the road?
Literally, we have to go bomb every country that says bad things about us. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to leave a little silence here so y'all can think about that for a second. We need to bomb countries because they say bad things about us. Okay.
They're trying to destabilize the West.
Wait, guys, we destabilize the entirety of the Middle East.
I guess in Israel, they don't know what sticks and stones may break my bones means, right?
I don't blame anyone for being angry with the United States over that.
But it is now
Iran is the sole
2025. We had the Abraham
of
Accords.
destabilizing the Middle East.
No.
Saudi knows it.
No.
By the way, here's a little fun fact for you.
You have to ask yourself what role they are
if all the
playing.
countries in the Middle East were actually against what Israel is doing, you would hear statement after statement after statement condemning Israel. I don't hear shit from the Emiratis. I don't hear shit from the Saudis. I don't hear shit from the Qataris, the Egyptians, the Jordanians, the Syrians. Syrians are cheering on Israel. So here's my question for you.
That's a really good point.
Bet they're not now.
It's a really good point.
All of Israel's enemies are cheering for Israel against Iran.
They're definitely on board.
And the people of Iran are cheering for Israel.
The Saudis,
so you have a losing side. You're taking the 20% of an 80-20 issue. Best of luck.
You literally just made...
He just got that number backwards. This ain't 80-20 going your way, pal. This is 80-20 going the other way. I can show you polls. Most of America does not want this war at all, especially when they get to the gas pumps lately. It's getting really unpopular now. Thank God those Fox News retards who watch it and just believe everything they see, they still got to go fill their gas tanks up. So they start to be like, hey, what the fuck? Eventually, they're going to come on too. Eventually, they'll figure it out.
My argument.
No,
Why do you think Israel pushed for regime change in these countries? They wanted to get rid of leaders that weren't friendly.
These very same, hold on, no, not Saudi Arabia,
Syria, Libya, Afghanistan. They tried, but we failed.
You know who pushed for regime change in Syria? The Syrian people that overtook Bashar al-Assad.
Right.
Your arguments
that was a
are
proxy
weak
war
and invalid.
that had the United States involved, Israel involved, Russia involved. That was a major proxy war.
If Russia gave two shits about Syria and had the wherewithal to do it, they would defend Syria and so would Iran. But because they're being flanked by Ukraine and Iran.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't Russia just come out and say because of Israel's little threat to send nuclear weapons towards Iran, Russia came out and said on the record that if you do, we're bombing you. So I kind of think that sounds like they're standing up for them a little bit because the talk of nuclear explosions went away.
Iran is being defunded by Israel. Nobody can come to Syria's defense.
Israel should fight its own wars.
Now the people of Syria are going to have to decide
we shouldn't send any of our soldiers, and when we do, inevitably,
Anna, just say
I want to come back
Iran
on the show.
First.
That's fine. No, I'm not going to say it because I don't believe that.
Can we just stop and remember who the president is? Everyone is underestimating the strength of Donald Trump.
I'm giving us 5 minutes before we move on.
There's no way he's going to let himself be pushed around by anybody.
She's defending him. She's a leftist. She got kicked out of the Democrat Party.
Including
the final thing I'll say about this, and then we can move on, is we currently have a United States Congress that's nickel and diming the fuck out of Americans by focusing on cuts to Medicaid, SNAP benefits. In the meantime, we are sending tens of billions of dollars to Israel so they can fight their wars.
Yeah.
Okay?
I had no idea when I was cheering Doge on that they were just clearing out money so they could go do this bullshit. I thought they were talked about sending us a rebate. Where's that rebate, Trump? Where's that rebate? Is it going to Israel now? Yeah, it looks like our rebate that we got from the Doge cuts is going to Israel because I haven't heard any talk about it. Where's that money? I'm going to go check my mailbox. I don't think it's there.
Unacceptable.
That money
respond to that?
isn't just going to
let
Israel.
me respond. Let me say one thing.
No,
I agree
it's
with you.
going to defense contractors,
Here at
Lindy.
home.
So when
I don't give a fuck about
But you
defense
say-
contractors
Anna-
making more money. I think that's the problem.
So Lindy, let me say one thing. Let me say one
your
thing.
own argument.
She's saying
Yeah.
exactly that it's
So-
not just.
It's priming
If you
our
ever-
economic.
if you ever
problem.
done
You're
a
saying
budget
you're sending
before-
over- That money.
Do not make the mistake of thinking defense contractors fattening their pockets even more is somehow beneficial to the American
Anna,
people.
you just heard me
She's
make
not
that.
saying
I'm
that.
just saying
She's not
it's not.
saying that.
You're saying the money is going all the way overseas. I'm saying it's also coming back here.
She's trying to get you to see
I know.
the role that we're playing.
Do you
'cause keep
understand what I'm
saying
saying?
I know, but
wars.
do you understand that it is a redistribution of wealth?
I'm
Hold on.
isolationist. I
Let
don't
me-
want this
I know,
happening,
Lindy.
okay?
I'm not.
I don't want this thing that I'm arguing for right now. That's what you're saying. Just shut the fuck up then, because we're trying to get this to stop, and you're just in the way.
Going to direct this to you. I'm just going to direct it to the
Imbecile.
audience or in general, okay? This is a redistribution of wealth from working class Americans to defense contractors.
Absolutely.
I don't want it happening.
Absolutely.
Netanyahu.
Right.
Well, I mean,
I think
It's
he's a
all
factor. I
Bibi's
don't
fault.
think he's. I don't think he's the only
Bibi
factor.
likes to push false narratives about, ooh, this country's
So
a
he
big threat.
controls our
American
entire
soldiers,
government.
go fight this war. Go fight
Every
this war. Give me
president-
money. Give me money. Give me
You
money.
have to
That's
give
Netanyahu.
you have to give our people a little bit more credit than trying.
So two people are in a conspiracy here, right? And that's kind of what it is, what we're talking about. We're saying that they're paying the money to Israel. Israel's sending the money back to the defensive contractors who are in bed with the fucking politicians. You're just pointing at Israel and saying, oh, you're just blaming Israel. No, we're saying the fucking politicians need to be rooted out too. We're claiming it's both. But yeah, Israel is the catalyst for this. If they go away, then those people can't do that. They'll just have to start trying to find some other country to sell their weapons to and get this sweetheart deal where it's guaranteed money you're getting back.
Being
I do give our people credit, including the MAGA, the
Like,
actual
you're actually saying
genuine
that none of our
America
presidents-
First crowd
none
that does
of
not
our
want
leaders
this
have
war.
their own say,
They don't
their
want
own
this
volition.
war. The left doesn't want this war. Actually, this is the one issue where it seems like there's some unity with
Yeah, the
contingents
gays
on
for
both
Gaza
sides.
and the isolationists
Yeah.
have teamed
What
up
I'm saying is
to be
there's no
basically
war. Like,
anti-America. Way to go.
The gays for Gaza. As if Israel is not the most feminist, most LGBTQ positive country in the Middle East. It's the only place you can go if you want to do the blow to you, I guess. That is what we're protecting. We're protecting the shit you're trying to pretend like is the gays for Gaza, as if that's some big thing. Yeah, no, bullshit. This is an obfuscation here. He's trying to make you think, oh, you're woke if you don't want to fight it for Israel. No, bitch. Israel are the woke people. They own Hollywood. They shoved woke horse shit down our throat of diversity and all this bullshit. And then they don't even do that with their own executives. Their executives are like 90% like Hebrew born. Let's put it that way. They do that and then tell you have to have diversity in everything you do. We're supposed to go support that because Adam says so.
Trump
That
is saying
is, that
he's not
is
gonna-
absolutely the truth. The far left sees Jews as having all the white privilege and being the ultimate imperialists. And then the MAGA far right sees the Jews as being responsible for all of this. And it equals a real bad situation for the Jews. I'm being friggin' honest.
If you're-
That's why
You're
we gotta
doing the
be
same thing that they've
careful.
done for years. They blame the Jews for everything. That's
If
fine.
you're
That's-
I'm starting to think that they're blaming them because they're doing a lot. At least the ones in Israel. Like, who should we blame? Who should we blame whenever Israel does a bunch of fucked up shit? Oh, you're just blaming the Jews again. No, they're secular. We're blaming Israel, not Jews.
Cool, that's your
concerned-
argument.
If you're concerned about anti-Semitism, because anti-Semitism is real, and
Oh,
it has
I've
increased.
noticed.
Hold on,
I know.
it has
I know you're not
increased
an anti-Semite. I know
significantly in the
you're
United
not.
States. You want to know why?
Yeah, tell me why.
When you see the slaughter of all those innocent kids in Gaza, and our government provides cover for it, and in fact funds it, that leads to a lot of rage
Yeah, nobody
among
wants
hardworking
to see
Americans
innocent
who
kids.
see their quality of life go down the
Nobody
drain
wants to
as
see
we're
it.
funding.
And their gas bill go up.
a
Innocent
genocide.
kids being killed.
Can we bottom?
And I would love to see Hamas leave.
Right, it's not about
the
Hamas.
right.
Let's
Can we
stop
talk
talking
about-
about
look,
Adam
Adam,
Sosnick.
If Hamas would, in all fairness, listen, I agree with you. I agree with you.
No, you don't.
The other side, though, because there are two sides, why didn't Hamas just give the friggin' hostages back? Then there'd be no excuse.
Yeah,
for
I
this.
agree.
I thought you agreed, though. Why are you asking that if you agree?
Hamas should have given the
Why don't you answer the question since you agree with Anna? Answer your question, Jillian. You just said you agree with Anna.
hostages back 100%. But let's also acknowledge when there is a siege on Gaza, when there are Israeli and American, by the way, hostages being held captive by Hamas, they're not just starving those poor Palestinian civilians, they're also starving their own hostages. Let's also not forget about the fact that the IDF shot and killed 3 Israeli hostages themselves. They didn't ask any questions, immediately started firing, killed 3 people. We need to actually have an honest
Unintentional.
conversation.
Oh, but Israel's our greatest ally, so we don't even care what they do. Like, they can do whatever. It's only when Iran does it so we can go help Israel.
Well, I mean, they didn't ask any questions. They were literally shirtless, waving white flags, saying, we need help, we need help. They got shot and killed immediately. The IDF is super belligerent in how they're carrying out this war. They're killing a lot of innocent people. In the case that I'm outlining, I'm talking about 3 Israeli hostages. If you're not willing to be critical of Israel, I question how honest you're being about this whole
I'm
situation.
critical of Israel just like I'm critical of America.
Let's hear it.
Can we
So
be
Let's hear it.
Lindy,
Let's hear it.
Hold on.
If America makes mistakes, I'll call them out. But I'm
Name one.
very pro-America. But we do make mistakes. If Israel makes mistakes, I'll call them out. But I'm very pro-Israel. I don't understand what you're doing when you're trying to be pro-Hamas and pro-Iran.
She just asked you to defend them killing those 3 people. Why did you change the subject? Answer the question.
Hold on.
When you
Hold
strawman
on.
me, it makes this
You can get to
entire
talk. You get to
exchange
talk.
fall apart.
So-
I'm trying to have an honest exchange
So
with
am
you.
I.
I'm not putting
I'm not sure if he's smart enough, but I think he just strawmanned her just so he didn't have to answer that question. I'm because it got her worked up and she didn't focus. Hey, answer my question.
words in your mouth. Please don't put words in my mouth.
You can talk when I'm done talking, and that's how this will work. No?
But if you
Or do you wanna just
strawman me,
keep talk-
if you strawman me and
Just
argue
like-
that I'm making
just like
arguments
you
that I didn't
strawman me
make,
and
I'm
said
going to
that I'm
interrupt
Israel
you.
first.
I'm going to interrupt you if you.
This is just like arguing with a woman. He hears what he wants to hear, and then whenever she says something, he'll just say whatever he wants her to have said so that he'll make a point for him. This is like arguing with your woman. I'm not even joking.
Lie about what I'm saying.
So you're a grown up when you argue. Got it.
I am a grown up. Yeah.
See, passive aggressive shit like
So,
that?
You
Ladylike.
seem very emotional, and I threw you a tissue just in case. I also have a tampon. in case
Oh, here, this is the
in case you need a
tampon.
tampon.
There you go.
She's gonna, Adam, she's gonna beat
Class.
the shit out of you.
That's
No,
fine.
no, let her.
That's fine.
I thought that was the
tampon just in
tampon
case you
before.
start
Listen, I'm
Here's the
not
deal.
deterred by your like ridiculous juvenile attacks. Let's have an
but
argument
the
about the
reality is
actual
she's gonna
facts.
Israel
kick
is
your ass,
fighting,
Adam, and I'm
Israel
gonna
is
let her.
fighting terrorists around the world. And in this one particular situation, why isn't Israel doing genocide in Lebanon? Why aren't they doing it in Syria?
Oh, let's look into the future. What have they just begun doing? Turkey's next. But what did they just start doing since they got this war and they figured, hey, we'll just attack everybody? Because, everybody hates us anyways. Let's just kill them all. That's their fucking mentality. They started a war with them immediately.
Why aren't
Good
they
point,
doing it
Adam.
everywhere
Good
else? Why
point.
is it only in Gaza? By the way, why is Gaza
Because they want to
the
clear
only...
Palestinians out of that land and take it. That's
and,
why.
and let's say that were the case, which it's not.
It is.
Why couldn't they do that? Because that's what everyone has done in that region for decade and after century.
Wait, why couldn't they do what?
The Islamization of the entire Middle East, who's the centerpiece of that? Okay?
These have been
Iran has
Muslim
done that.
majority.
Yep.
First of all, these have been Muslim majority countries forever.
And why is every Muslim country fighting with each other? Syrians fight with Syrians. 500,000
There
people
are
died in Syria.
different
1 million people have
sects
died in Sudan. In Sudan.
They're complaining
half a million
about it.
people
They
died in
wanted
Yemen.
to, they just
I don't
can't.
hear bo peep about any of that. But when Israel gets attacked on October 7th,
Let me point it out to you here, because I don't know if you know this, Ken. Israel has nuclear weapons right there. So they're not going to talk too loud. They're afraid of them. They're definitely afraid of Israel. Like, I'm positive of that. This was about in 25. It was in 2025 around June, I think. That's when this debate was. So, the fuck? Oh, there it is.
that's all you want to talk about. I'd give you a little bit more credit if you were talking about the Christians that are being killed in Syria. I'd
And
give
the
you a little
West
bit
Bank.
more credit if you would talk about the millions of Muslims that have died around the Middle
He'll give you credit as long as you don't talk about Israel. As long as you don't criticize his favorite country, he will give you credit for stuff.
East. But you guys don't say shit unless Israel's involved. That's the problem I have
Because
with
we
you.
fund
I'd be-
Israel's wars of
Okay,
aggression.
so just because we fund it, we're not allowed to talk about anything else? So
No,
we can't
but
talk
I-
about the
I
genocide
talk
in
about
every other
foreign-
country?
You're allowed to talk about whatever you want, stupid, and that's what they're doing. They're talking about Israel because that's what's pissing them off.
Policy in different contexts all the
The
time.
only thing I've ever heard you talk about is Israel. You're obsessed with Israel.
Well, then you need
know
to
how
get to
there's
know me a little better.
Trump derangement syndrome, you have Israel derangement syndrome. And it's seeping out left and right.
And I guess all of America does right about now, too.
I hope and pray that you stop being so ignorant to the fact that Israel is defending America and American values
They're not
against
defending
terrorists
America. How are they defending
around the
America?
Middle East.
How?
Let's say
Yeah.
that Iran was a threat, which a lot of people think they are.
They
lot of
are. That's
credible
not even
and intelligent
hypothetical.
People think so. And I know there's a lot of credible and intelligent people who don't, right? And unfortunately, time's going to tell how this is going to play out.
I don't know too many credible or intelligent people.
I think they're a threat now. I think we made them a threat. I think we killed their leader that had a fatwa against nuclear weapons, and now his son, who's kind of pissed off he murdered his dad, I think he might just do it. And I don't know that I blame him for that. Like, I would probably do the same thing if you just killed my dad because he didn't want to have nuclear weapons and kept saying he did. I might want to fucking just be like, yeah, fuck it, I'll get one. And what are you going to say to that? Are you going to say the wrong? If another country did that to us, wouldn't you think that way? If you were the new leader, I think you would.
The
don't think
argument
Iran
on
is a
the other
threat.
side is that Israel is doing the dirty work and getting demonized for it. That is the argument on the other side.
Also, Adam,
can
I also say a couple of conversations ago, Adam, you
Go
brought
ahead.
up something very interesting that we haven't even addressed. It's the Islamic terrorism. And then Islamification of Europe and also America. If you're going to talk about...
Let's talk about that. Let's talk
Thank
about
you.
that.
Wait,
Yes,
hold on,
I'm
hold
definitely
on.
not getting to know King's today.
Let's talk about that.
Anna, I really appreciate everything you brought up. And, you know, the Israeli regime does deserve to be criticized on occasion. But we also have to look at this
sure.
extreme
Without question.
threat of Islamic terrorism that is here at home. I mean, do I even need to mention 9/11? We just had a shooting a couple weeks ago against the Jewish community, right?
Our regime change wars have spurred Islamist groups like ISIS to pop up.
But you
What
don't
about
know that
9/11?
this is that yet.
Okay.
You don't know
All right,
that
so
yet.
then let's end it here.
She just slipped up. She just said, you don't know that yet, which means we're going to know it. And we probably know it by now. This is insane. They just act like they don't know what's going to happen when they can see what's about to happen. That's happened 1,000 times before this. It's just baffling to me. Who wants to pretend to be an idiot so that they can look stupid in the future like they do right now?
Revolution
that's
started in
fair.
Let's end it here. Let's end it here. Let me
That's
just
what
say
I'm
one more
saying.
thing. Let me say one more thing.
Because we
Can we play that
go
clip?
ahead.
When we inevitably get dragged into this war, when we inevitably end up spending tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions, if not $1 trillion, depending on how long that war with Iran lasts, will you guys come back on this show and at
Yes.
least admit I was right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Wait,
Conversely,
hold on a
though,
second.
if
What's
it
the question?
ends
Say it again.
within 6 months,
Yep.
and Iran is defanged in the Abraham Accord, this is a pipe dream. I get it. But if it ends within 6 months, Iran is defanged. I don't know if there'll be a regime change. I have no idea. I haven't heard talk of that yet. Obviously, I know that we wouldn't be hearing that because nobody is for that. In fact, Trump denied involvement because it's so friggin' unpopular. I get it. But if in 6 months this is resolved, it's like Soleimani, it came, it went, Iran is defanged, and the Abraham Accords are expanded, will you admit that?
Yeah, of course.
All right, it's been 10 months. They said they were going to do it in 6. Jillian Michaels got rid of this show because she didn't want to do that. They are fucking pussies. They're not going to do it. They're not going to have a return show because I don't even think Jillian Michaels works there anymore. If I'm not mistaken, I think she quit.
Yeah, because what I'm
Let's
saying
see.
is that Trump is not going to allow himself
Let's
to be
see.
dragged in. I just don't think
I
it's a
hope not.
You
possibility.
have way too much. Look, I don't have that
not-
much faith in
Oh my
any
God.
I'm
politician.
not saying,
but
you know
look at
that
his
I'm not.
I don't think Trump's going to let them drag him into that. Ugh. Write that in the book.
First
MAGA.
term, though.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is
Fine.
he ran on America first. This
Yeah.
is what,
Are
he
you-
ran on isolation.
But guys, I just
So-
want you to remember one thing because you brought up Yemen. I'm so happy you brought up Yemen, Adam. Thank you for doing that, okay? Because the United States assisted Saudi Arabia in fighting the Houthi rebels in Yemen,
Yeah.
who are of course backed by Iran.
Yeah.
Now, did we beat the Houthis in Yemen?
It's still going.
It's still going. So I bring that up because if anyone is under the assumption that a regime change war in Iran is going to be a cakewalk, they have another thing coming.
Okay, but Trump
who said
bankrupted
cakewalk?
them,
Who said
and it made a
cakewalk?
huge difference.
It's
the
going to be a
first term.
massive endeavor.
He choked
Which
them out
means,
financially.
which means that the U.S. is going to get dragged into that war, Adam. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, so what you're arguing is a hypothetical, and I hear you on that. Nobody wants Israel, United States to get involved in more wars. I'm with you on that.
Agreed.
Are you?
You're arguing a hypothetical as if it's fact.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that I had with you. Is like, we can't have this. We can't want this.
I hate when he says he agrees with you and then he just goes and says the exact opposite of everything you said. It drives me nuts.
No. It's like, yeah, but it's not happening right now.
And it
So
didn't
let's
happen
argue
the
what's
first
happening.
time.
So
Measure
let's
to
not
ensure
happen
that
the
it
first time.
doesn't happen, right?
But
Like she's
Lindy's bringing up probably the most important point because we're so fixated on Israel. Lindy's talking about the Islamization
Yes.
of European Christian cities.
Yeah, do you
And
know why
you have
that's
this clip?
happening? Because of refugee crises
But
due
not
to
only
wars
that-
that destabilize these Muslim majority
I think it's
countries.
intentional.
Like
I
a
think
Syrian civil war.
Yes.
Like a
I
Yemeni
think it's an
civil war.
intentional
Yeah, it is
foreign
like a
invasion.
Libyan war,
Wait,
regime
I
change
don't
war.
think
Play
it's
the
just.
clip?
I don't think it's just a humanitarian crisis.
It's
I think
more
there's
than
an
that. It's
intentional
a fundamental
campaign
ideology.
to
Oh my God.
Can we
destroy
play this clip?
Western. They say that it's a campaign to destroy Western civilization.
When Western civilization destabilizes Europe,
If we had a good leader, he just wouldn't let any of them in then, right? And then you have no problems. So maybe we just got to get a better leader who can stop all that, like stop any Muslims from coming here if that's what they're trying to do. And also not assist Israel in any of their bullshit. Wouldn't that be easy? That would be so nice. Thomas Massey, you can't run fast enough.
Your home, your
You're
country,
being an
that leads to a
apologist
lot of
for
rage, and I
Islamic
can understand
terrorism.
why. If some other country invaded us, destabilized the United States of America, believe me, I'd be out on the streets chanting death to whatever country as well.
They're not just doing that. They're coming over to our countries, invading us, killing our people.
Who's invading us and killing
what
us?
politicians are creating the incentives to bring them in. Like, this is a system problem as well. It's systemic, you know. But honestly, listen, guys. I saw a post that says, I am smarter.
The same people who approve these wars we're going to get into are the people that let those people into here because they want you to hate them. They want America to hate all those Muslims because they are going to try and take over. Like, you moved into a place, I think you would probably vote for things that benefit you too. So they're wanting this. They're allowing it and they're wanting it.
Enough to know I'm too retarded to comment on this. I'll agree with that. What I can say is, like,
Okay, she just made me a fan. I've never heard a girl admit that she's a retard. I'm a fan now.
I feel like
least she's
nearly
honest.
all of you have been incredibly reductive of Anna's points. She's not just this insane progressive person who's spewing this leftist rhetoric. This is real issues that people have on the right as
Wait,
well.
I'm saying that we should not get involved.
Pretending that there could not be repercussions in place where we could go to a war and you guys...
Well, we can, but I don't know if Israel will let us in. Like, if we move to Israel, we do get everything we want. So we could do that.
guys are saying, oh, it's just based off a hypothetical. This could happen.
That's not true.
So you're
It could
defending
happen.
her hypothetical.
I fully
Like, I'm
validated
trying to live in
that.
reality, guys.
100%. I also presented an alternative that is possible. And the reality is, we don't know yet. My deepest concern on a personal level, and I have no connection to this and no dog in this fight, is to see it all being focused on Israel when there are many different factors at play here that you mentioned.
They love to act like they don't know that our Congress is owned by Israel. Like they've all seen that picture. I could pull it up. I've got it here on my screen somewhere where it's just our entire Congress sitting in an Israeli fucking bingo hall, just pledging their allegiance to Israel. And they act like they don't know this. Like they've never seen it. Like it's out on the internet. I'm sure they've seen it.
And you mentioned, and that is the one thing, it's like, time's going to tell. Your concerns are very real, and I agree with you. I hope to God you're wrong. And I also think Adam makes some great points. And we just don't know yet if this is a catastrophe in the making or potentially this Pollyanna version that I laid out earlier.
Can we at least address that you guys are forming your opinion based on a hypothetical that Iran is a national security risk and threat to the United States?
No, I'm saying that it's not our business and Trump won't get dragged in.
Just like ISIS
Lindy,
wasn't a threat to the United States.
You're forming your opinion based on your extreme faith in Trump.
No, I don't have an extreme faith in him. I don't. I'm not MAGA. You know that. I'm not one of those like MAGA heads. I'm just not. I'm just saying this guy ran. When someone talks, let's believe them. He's saying he doesn't want America in forever wars. That's what he ran on. It's one of the bedrocks. In addition to immigration, mass deportations, he ran on getting us out of foreign entanglement.
So let's see if that happens.
Let's see if that happens.
He has tried so hard.
You're right. Let's
I want to
see
say,
if that
you
happens.
can say a lot of things about Donald Trump, but there's one thing you cannot say, and that's his effort and willingness to deliver on his campaign promises.
I can say it. I can say it. It's bullshit. I can say it right now. All it took was 8 months, 10 months, 10 months, and I can say it. I can say he doesn't give a fuck about his campaign promises. I can 100% put my hand on the Bible, raise the other one, and say he does not give a shit about his campaign promises. Do you need me to do it? I can do it.
Look at the lengths he is going to prosecute those mass deportations. He is fighting hard to carry through his campaign promises. So let's take a step back. It's been 48 hours, right? Our math is terrible. Let's see what he does, and let's see if he keeps his promise to keep us out of
I don't believe that. She's Asian.
forever wars. Because Anna, I agree with you. We have nothing. I want nothing to do with it.
Thank you so much for watching her take.
Anyway, let me get this out of here. Holy shit. Am I the only one seeing this? That was fucking insane. You get to see, because of the advent of our time skip here, 10 months later, you can see exactly who won this debate, and it's not even close. She went on to a unfriendly panel of 4 other women, including Adam, and now we see who was right, who was wrong. Plain and simple. You may not like her politics. I don't like Democrats, but I definitely like non-Zionists. And I'm willing to side with them until we get this taken care of. Then we'll take care of the feminism bullshit. Yeah, it is. But he's got the Antichrist in behind him. They're going to try and push him through. He's a bigger Zionist than Trump, I think. He just pretends like he's not. It's scary, man. It's scary. Hey, what's up, Jamie? How you been, brother? I missed you the other night. I was thinking you was gonna come in. I did a later show on Friday. You might have came to that one. Did you come to that one? Anyway, I'll talk to you later, bro. Hit me up on X. I'm gonna end this one here today. Holy shit! Please pay attention to these. I'm trying to show y'all. I'm not just doing this because I like hearing myself talk. I really don't. I don't understand why anyone would want to hear me talk. But when my dog freaks out and spends the weekend in the bathroom because he's afraid of World War III, it's time to start worrying about it, I think, because they have instincts. Anyway, I will see y'all. Oh, yeah, okay. No problem, Jamie. I will talk to y'all later, man. I'll see y'all maybe tomorrow. I still haven't got confirmation on the rematch between Dave Smith and the moron at the end of the table today, Adam Sosnick. He said it's been accepted. It was offered by PBD's team and it was accepted by Dave Smith. But he gave him a warning. He said, if you come, I'm gonna put you out because I'm gonna be mean this time. So I think Adam might have chickened out because I can't get a confirmation from the Pierce Morgan show. I can't get a confirmation anywhere, and Google's telling me that they don't know if it's happening or not. It might happen in the future on PBD. So I might have to hold off on that one until I get more confirmation. If not, I'll see you on Wednesday. Y'all have a good one, and I will see you. Let me put the music on. This is in the wrong section. I'm gonna do this one. So I will see y'all on Monday. Take it easy and just keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. Peace.
You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity.